A couple of weeks ago, I did a driving job for Amazon on their Amazon Flex program. And in this video, I'm going to share with you my experiences of that. Now, just to be clear, this is not an expose or anything like that. I didn't take that job with the intention of creating a video for YouTube. I basically took the job and then thought, you know what, why not share my experiences with you guys? After all, this channel is about making money and passive income or other sources of income, growing your wealth and all those kind of things. And Amazon do provide lots and lots of different ways for people to generate some income, and Amazon Flex is one of them. Now, if you don't know what Amazon Flex is, it's basically a self-employed driving position which allows you to deliver parcels for Amazon using your own vehicle. Now, you can drive as little or as often as you want, depending on what work's available in your area in any given week, and you will get paid accordingly, and then it's up to you to pay your own taxes and those kind of things. Now, before we continue, just a quick word from this week's sponsor, Awesome. Awesome is a technology-driven company that specialises in providing business support services, particularly in the areas of accounting, bookkeeping and company incorporation. Now, when I set up my business, it took me days to get all the paperwork together. What if you could do that in just 6 minutes for only £12? Yes, it really is that easy to start a business with Awesome. They've helped set up 15,000 businesses hassle-free. Now, Awesome manages business registration, papers of incorporation, and gets you pre-approval on the best bank account for your business. Zero paperwork and a helping human being to answer your questions along the way. That's got to be better than dealing with Companies House and HMRC, right? Use my links below to set up your business for only £12 or to get £100 off any accounting package. So I applied for this job probably, I don't know, maybe a year or so ago when I was looking to create some extra income for a holiday or whatever I needed money for at the time. And I thought it would be an easy way to make some income driving around, dropping off a few parcels here and there and getting paid for it. It's not quite that easy, I'll be honest with you. I didn't find the job pleasurable at all, which I thought I would. But you know, maybe it is something that you might want to do. So I applied, and the process is quite straightforward, but it does take a bit of effort. You know, there's a lot involved with, like, you know, providing your personal information and then getting DBS checked and uploading your driving license and ID and all those kind of things. There's a lot involved, and understandably so, but it did take, from the start of the application to being accepted and everything being complete, it probably took about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a little bit longer. But anyway, once that was all done, then I was good to go and I could start accepting jobs. And the way things work is basically you've got an app, the Amazon Flex app. You put in there your location, where you would like to drive from or pick up from, you know, from a number of different collection points and depots. And then jobs are offered to you on a ad hoc basis, basically whenever there's a job available, or what they call a block, which is a block of parcels in a given time. They become available and you can either accept or decline those jobs. So 2 came up in my area. One was Thursday for 3 hours and one was for Friday for 3.5 hours. Now, the rate of pay for me at that time was £40.50 for the 3 hours, which is about £13.50 per hour, or £47.50 for the 3.5 hours, which again is around about £13.56, £57, something like that. So I accepted both of these jobs with the intention of, you know, doing them both. So when it came to do the first job, which was on the Thursday, I was all excited. I had to make sure, you know, my vehicle was clear and I had loads of space ready to put all the parcels in. I drive like a saloon car, a BMW 3 Series, so it hasn't got loads of boot space. It's reasonable, but, you know, not for delivering lots of big parcels and packages. So I had to make sure the back seat was clear as well. Now, I wasn't really sure how many parcels I'd be expected to deliver in a 3-hour slot, which we'll get to in just a second. So that's the reason, obviously, that I made my vehicle clear as much as I could. Now, when I arrived at the depot, Basically, it's really, it's run really well, I'll be honest with you. And, what would you expect from Amazon? They're a massive company. They've got tons of employees. They've got warehouses all over the country. They run a tight ship. So, I was really impressed with the way things run. But basically, you drive into the warehouse, you hand over your ID, you tell them that you're checking in for your driver's job. You've got to be there about 15 minutes before your block is due to start. You give the ID in, and then you are guided down the lane where you're going to pick up your parcels, and then someone there will hand over the parcels that you're going to deliver. And basically it's like one of these cages that you might see in a supermarket with all the products stacked up. So my first job, I had 45 parcels to deliver in 3 hours, and I thought, well, that doesn't seem too bad. 15 parcels in an hour, easy. And from what I'd read on Reddit, there's an Amazon Flex UK group on Reddit where people are really, really helpful. From what I'd read there, people are getting these 3 hour blocks and they're doing them in, less than that time, 2 hours or even less sometimes, depending on, where you're delivering to. Now, obviously, I think you need to be used to the process in order to be completing your job before the allotted time. As a newcomer, someone who's just started, that wasn't my experience. So it took me probably 4 hours 20 minutes to complete a 3 hour scheduled job. I think I'd only delivered 6 or 7 parcels in the first hour. I just couldn't believe how difficult it was. Just finished the job now. It's 5:25. My job started at 1. It's supposed to be for 3 hours, so I should have finished at 4, and it's actually 5:25 that I've actually knocked off, plus the half hour that it took me to kind of get here. So it's kind of 5 hours in total instead of 3. Hard work. The funny thing is, I'd ordered something from Amazon the week before, and the driver who came to drop it off knocked on the door. So I went out and I asked him about it, because I just had a few questions about the Flex app, because I wasn't sure how it worked with regards to navigation, and does the app guide you to each destination, or do you have to kind of make your own way? Now, before you've got a job, before your job has started, you can't see any kind of navigation on the app itself. All you can see is your personal details, and you can see details about the upcoming jobs and things like that, but you can't see any navigation or any details of the deliveries that you're going to be making. So I asked this chap at the door, and I said, how does it work? And he said, yeah, basically as soon as you check in, you register, the navigation will become available, and you can use the native app, the native map within the Amazon Flex, or you can use external maps like Google Maps or Apple Maps or whatever you want, your preference. Now, I only found that out when I was in the depot. I asked another woman there who was there collecting parcels. I asked her how it works, and she said, yeah, don't use the app mapping software. Make sure you use an external mapping software, otherwise you won't cope, basically. So that's how it works. You don't get all of the features of the app until you're actually on a job. So if you're just about to do Amazon Flex and you're wondering how things work, just bear in mind that a lot of the features of the Flex app won't become available to you till you've actually started your scheduled job. So anyway, I collected all my parcels in Amazon, and I was really excited to get going, and off I went. Now, bear in mind, let me just tell you that when you collect all these parcels, the packages are all different sizes. Obviously, you've got boxes, you've got envelopes, you've got little cardboard book folders, as they're called. You've got polythene bags. You've got all sorts of different types of packaging. Now, the chap at the Amazon warehouse said to me, put them in separate areas of your car so you know where things are. And I didn't really take his advice, and I kind of just shoved things in haphazardly, if you like. I put as much as I could in the boot, and I put some in the back seat, and I put some in the front footwell. And then when it came to deliver, finding each of these parcels was a nightmare. Now, to the app's credit, it does tell you on the next scheduled delivery what kind of parcel you're going to be delivering. So it might say this is an envelope, or it might say this is bubble wrap, or it might say it's a box or a package. So at least you've got a good idea of what you're looking for. But now I can understand why it's best to put them all in separate little piles, because if you're looking for a little envelope and it's stuffed in the boot underneath a load of big boxes, then it's a bit of a nightmare to get to, and obviously you're going to waste a lot of your time when you're on the deliveries. So that's just something to bear in mind. If you do this, make sure you separate everything into little parcels. But anyway, off I went, and I started with my first job, and the first job was probably, I don't know, 20 minutes from the depot. So that obviously took a lot of my time away getting to that first delivery drop. What can I say? From there on in, it just kind of went downhill for me, because you know, some people are not at home when you deliver, and sometimes you've got a parcel that can't be posted through a letterbox, and the app does give you some kind of information as to what to do with the parcel. If there's nobody in, then there might be some instructions to either leave it with a neighbour or leave it in a safe place. But from my experience, there's a lot of houses that didn't have anywhere safe to leave the parcel, and you might go to the neighbour and there's no neighbour in. I went to one neighbour's house, and he said that he didn't want to take the parcel because his neighbour basically didn't want him to take parcels in on his behalf, because he's a taxi driver or something and he works shifts, so their paths always cross. So if the neighbour's got his parcel, he's found it difficult to get it from him, so the neighbour didn't want the parcel. All sorts of drama happened when I was delivering these parcels. Some delivery instructions might say, you know, use the 4-digit code on the door to leave it in a safe place, and then you'll get to the address, and there's a key code box on the wall with 6 digits, and you've got a 4-digit code. So that doesn't work. You'll get to some houses where there'll be people not wanting to open the door, even though you can blatantly see that they're in. You know, they're there kind of shuffling behind the window. You're knocking on the door and they don't come to the door. Bizarre, I don't know why. There was just so much went on, and it didn't help the fact that it was raining when I was doing this first job. So every time I got out of the car, I got piss wet through, and then you get back in the car, but you'd be so hot because you've been running around. Sometimes you'd have to deliver a parcel to a location where you couldn't drive to the door, so you had to walk a million miles to get to where you was delivering to, oftentimes with a big heavy box, so you'd get back and you'd be knackered. I had to deliver one parcel or so, I thought, to one of these Amazon lockers on a fuel station forecourt, and getting that parcel into one of those lockers was just horrendous. You've got to scan something on the app, and then you've got to use your phone to scan something on the locker screen, and then you've got to scan the app, and then you've got to scan the parcel, and all this before the locker will open. And then you do all that, and then it says it's the wrong parcel, and then you look back on your list of deliveries and you think, oh yeah, there's another one here. Then I'll go to my boot, and then there's 4 other parcels that need to be dropped in that location, so then you've got to go back and you've got to scan the machine and then scan the parcel. Oh, it's just a nightmare, honestly. Well, that was an absolute nightmare delivering these Amazon lockers. Yeah, just such a pain to scan the parcels, putting access codes on the lockers and things like that. It was just an absolute nightmare. So much stress for, in my opinion, not enough money. Now, one thing I did read when I was on the Amazon Flex UK Reddit is that a lot of these experienced drivers, they obviously share information and with each other, and they help each other out as much as they can, and I found it really helpful on that on the Reddit, to be honest with you. But they will also share their rates. What rate are you getting for 3 hours at the moment? What rate are you getting for 2 hours in this location, etc., etc. Now, what I found out is the rates that I've got here, which was £40.50 for 3 hours and £47.50 for 3.5 hours, is kind of base rate. It's kind of the lowest of the low. Now, a lot of these guys kind of don't accept these jobs, and they wait and they wait and they wait until the price goes up, because obviously the nearer it gets to that delivery slot, Amazon need to fill it with a driver, so they'll put the money up. And I kind of understand where they're coming from there, but you know, some people might need the money, and you know, £40.50 for 3 hours might be perfectly adequate for them. But there's kind of this unwritten code on Reddit that don't accept the base rates, because if you do, then that's what everyone else will be expected to accept. So you need to wait and wait and wait until the price goes up. But the problem with that is you can easily miss these opportunities as well. So, you know, you do what's right for you. You know, don't listen to what other people on Reddit are saying do. If you think £40.50 is a good rate for 3 hours and you're happy to do it, then obviously do it, because you could potentially miss that job if you wait for the rates to increase. Now, a couple of things to consider is that when you do drive for Amazon, you need to have your own vehicle insurance, and there's a company called Insure, INSHUR, which allows you to insure your vehicle by the hour. So basically, the quote I got, it cost me, I think it was 52 pence per hour that I was driving for fully comp insurance. Now, this is on top of your own car insurance. You might have car insurance that allows you to do delivery driving, but if you don't, then you will need to get this top up insurance. You can ask your insurance company if they'll, you know, increase your policy to cover that, or you can pay a third party to do it. But again, you need to check with your insurance company that they will allow this top up insurance. Now, 52 pence an hour isn't bad, I don't think, but for 3 hours that I did, that's obviously £1.56 that I've got to take off my hourly rate. Then obviously you've got to take your tax off. So if you're self-employed, you've got to take your tax off that as well. Then you've got obviously your fuel, and then you've got any wear and tear on your vehicle as well. So, you know, it can work out not so great that you're not really making much of a profit. So this is why these guys obviously want people to wait for the rates to go higher. So just bear all that in mind. I think that's about it. I found the whole experience, I found the Amazon staff, most of them were quite professional. Most of them were quite helpful from my experience. There was I think there was 3 parcels I couldn't deliver. One because it was one of these key code things on the door, and it was the wrong key code, so I couldn't deliver it. So I couldn't deliver that parcel. One was because the neighbour, I told you, wouldn't accept the parcel for the person who the parcel was intended for, so I couldn't deliver that one. And the other one was a parcel that wasn't on my route. It was an address, but it wasn't scheduled in my route. So I had 3 parcels to take back. So then I had to go all the way back to the Amazon warehouse to drop off these parcels that I couldn't deliver. Now, you can take them back the next day. I think you've got till 12 p.m. the next day or something like that to deliver, to take any undeliverable parcels back. But I thought I'd just get it out of the way rather than having to make another journey the next day. So that added another 30 minutes onto my journey. And when I got back to drop these parcels off, there was only one girl working in the warehouse then. And I said to her, you know, I've got these parcels that I couldn't deliver. What do I do with them? And she said, why couldn't you deliver them? And she was quite abrupt, really. So I explained why, you know, the 3 reasons why I couldn't deliver the parcels. And she seemed a little bit put out by the fact that I couldn't deliver these parcels. And that just made me realise that I don't want to be working for anybody. I mean, you know, I don't specifically work for this girl, but obviously she needs answers because she needs to give other people answers as to why these parcels haven't delivered. But the fact that I'm having to explain myself to someone when I've been self-employed for, you know, the best part of 10, 12 years, something like that, I just thought, you know what, this isn't for me. I'm not cut out to be kind of being asked questions about what I've done and what I haven't done and why I haven't done things and all that kind of stuff. I just thought, you know what, that's not for me. I'm well past that now. So now I'm actually eating my lunch in the car, which is a bit of a nightmare. Sandwich, bag of crisps, can of Red Bull, meal deal. I'm knackered, honestly. I've got about halfway through my parcels and I've been at it probably, let's have a look. I've been at it for 2.5 hours and I've got a 3.5 hour scheduled slot, so I'm gonna go well over that allotted time. I've currently done about 15 miles in the car, obviously used fuel, bought myself a meal deal. Oh, I'm knackered. Okay, back to it. So I guess the question is, would I recommend Amazon Flex to you guys? And the honest answer is, yes, I would. It's not something I would want to do again. It's not the kind of work I enjoyed, to be honest with you. I didn't like the stress of having to get to locations at a certain time and do everything within a set period, a set time. I've been self-employed for so long now. I don't have to answer to anyone. I don't have to get things done, by a specific time frame, if you like. So, I don't like the stress of having to get things done as and when other people say I need to get things done. Now, obviously, if you've got a job and you've got a 3-hour time slot, you can take longer. You don't have to get it all done within that time frame. But obviously, the longer you take, then the less your hourly rate is, and it doesn't work out so profitable. So the quicker you can get things done, the more profitable it is. But if you like driving and you like dealing with people, if you can eat your lunch on the go and all those kind of things, if you like that, then I would definitely recommend this job. I've got a whole new appreciation for Amazon drivers after doing this job. It is such a, I think stressful is the right word. It is a very stressful situation, or at least it was for me. Now, I'm sure you will get used to it the more you do it, and you'll be able to do things in a much more streamlined manner. But for a first timer, it is eye opening. And like I say, I've got a whole new appreciation for Amazon delivery drivers. So if you do this for a job, guys, then I salute you. It's a job well done. But yeah, if you like driving and you can handle that pressure and that stress, and you don't mind working for other people, then go for it. It is a really great opportunity to earn yourself some extra income. And some people do this full time as well. But if you just want a little part-time job, earn a little extra income, then I would definitely recommend Amazon Flex. Anyway, that's my experiences. I hope you found it useful. One other thing I just wanted to say is I received an email from Amazon actually to say somebody said that a parcel hasn't been delivered. It just says one of the deliveries on your recent drop said that they didn't receive the parcel. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with that. It doesn't give me any indication as to what to do with that. It just basically says that you are obliged to obviously deliver all the parcels. Well, I did deliver all the parcels as far as I could, and the 3 that I couldn't, I took back. So I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do with that, but just bear that in mind. That's kind of made me feel like a little guilty, like I'm being accused of something. I don't know, but it doesn't say in the email, which I'll put on the screen now, just so you can see. It doesn't really say what I'm supposed to do with this, but that was a weird thing. Anyway, that's kind of my experiences with Amazon. It might be great for you. It wasn't great for me. I won't be doing it again. But I still think Amazon's great. They do provide lots of other opportunities to make income and passive income. So, I'm not totally against Amazon at all. I just don't really like this Amazon Flex program. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you again in another video.